Today we're going to discuss about angles, and the definition of angle is the union of two rays meeting at a common point called the vertex. This is an example of an angle. These are the sides, the two rays are the sides, and the intersection point is called the vertex. Now let's go to the types of angles. The first type is the acute angle, that the measurement of which is greater than 0 but less than 90 degrees. The following are the examples. There can be a drawing that has a measurement, and in this particular case it says 30 degrees. So that is acute. You can also have just the measurements given. So for example, it can give you a 1 degree angle, that is acute, 15 degrees, 89 degrees, or any degrees that's greater than 0 but less than 90 degrees. The next type of angle is called the right angle, and this has an exactly 90-degree measurement. The following are the examples, different illustrations that would show a right angle. Okay, so let's keep on going. Our next one is called the obtuse angle. An obtuse angle measures between 90 to 180 degrees. Therefore, these are all the examples. You can have an illustration that has a measurement, and it can be anything between 90 to 180 degrees. In this case, 120 degrees is an example of an obtuse angle. And this one is 90.75 degrees. That is a possibility. And so therefore, this is called obtuse because it's more than 90 degrees. If you have very close to 180 degrees but still is less than 180 degrees, for example, 179.1, or it can be 179.9 degrees, it still is called obtuse. Our next and last type is called a straight angle, which is exactly 180 degrees. Here's an example of an illustration of a straight angle. It is looking like a straight line where the sides are in opposite directions. So let's go ahead and turn to the next page of your notebook. I'm now going to discuss to you about angle relationships. The first type of angle relationship that I'm going to discuss is adjacent angles. What are adjacent angles? Adjacent angles are angles that share a common side but do not have common interior points. An example is this angle ABC right here and angle CBD are sharing a common side BC. Not only that they're sharing a common side BC, they don't have common interior points. So this pink interior points right here are not combining with this yellow one. So when that happens, your angle ABC and CBD are called adjacent angles. Okay. So once again, angle ABC and angle CBD share a common side, which is ray BC, and in that case, angle ABC and CBD are adjacent. So let's now go to the next type, which is called the linear pair. The linear pair is made up of adjacent angles that actually sum up to 180 degrees, such as this example. So angle XYZ and angles ZYW form a linear pair because they're adjacent, and whenever you look at this, they form a straight line. So in that case, their measurement sums up to 180 degrees. And how will that look like in an example? I can have infinite ways to do this, but I will just pick, let's say this is 60 degrees. And let's say, of course, if that's 60, then this has to be 120 degrees. And that sums up to 180 degrees. Okay, so our next type of angle relationship is complementary angles. Complementary angles are angles that sum up to 90 degrees, and they may or may not be adjacent. So my example number one is that they are adjacent. So this is 30 degrees and 60 degrees summing up to 90 degrees. So those angles are complementary. These two angles are detached. They're not adjacent. They don't share a common side. This is 25 degrees and this is 65 degrees. By the way, just to note, please do not rely on the drawing. Don't say, okay, they look like they have the same measurement. Please rely on the given measurement. So if this is 25 degrees, this is 65 degrees. If you sum them up, they total 90 degrees. Therefore, these two are also called complementary. Okay, the next type of angle relationship is supplementary angles. Supplementary angles are angles that sum up to 180 degrees, and like the complementary angles, they may or may not be adjacent. So in this case, whenever they're adjacent, I hope you remember this, it's a linear pair. So linear pair will always be supplementary. Okay, but not all supplementary angles are linear pair, because in this example number 2, they may sum up to 180 degrees, but they are detached. They don't share a common side. When that happens, this cannot be called linear pair, but they are supplementary. And this, however, is a linear pair. And of course, it follows that they're also supplementary. Okay, this will be my last for the angle pairs, okay? Vertical angles. Vertical angles are formed by two intersecting lines. So let me call this my line 1 and this my line 2. I would like to work with this while you're watching. So if this is 50 degrees, it says here that vertical angles are always congruent. So these are the opposite angles right here. Those are your vertical angles. So that's one pair. And these are another pair. This is another pair of vertical angles. So they're always congruent. So that follows that this right here is 50 degrees as well. Now, there are many ways that you can work this out. Let's say this is X and let's say we're looking for X and we're looking for Y. So how will we work this out? There are many ways. The first way can be that you will look at this like a line. So if you look at this like a line, and that's a linear pair, and this is 50, the whole line is 180 degrees. So this must be 130. If that is 130, you know that these two are vertical, so this must also be 130. Now, what's another way? Another way is to look at this like a circle. A circle has 360 degrees, and if you subtract 100 from 360 degrees, it follows 260, and 260 divided by 2 becomes 130 degrees. So your x is 130 degrees, and your y is also 130 degrees.